Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and welcome to the first of December Daily 2021. I thought I would go ahead and come on and give you a rundown of some of the products that I'm using, some of the plans that I have, and some of the foundation pages that I have already got in the works, as well as like my introductory pages, and then I have a few wrap-up pages as well. I just cram all kind of stuff into these albums. I do have two. I had originally only ordered one album, and I just was sick to my stomach thinking that I was going to end up needing two albums and not be able to find one, which is what happened last year, which was my first year of doing December Daily, and I have two mismatched albums, very mismatched. So I went to one of the swap groups, and a lady had changed her mind about the size, and she was willing to sell hers, and so she shipped it to me. It arrived in perfect condition, and so I am just happy and excited that I have two matching albums because I'm definitely going to need them. So I am going to go ahead and move this stuff away and put over some products that I have that I'm using for this year, and just kind of give you a really quick rundown of what those are. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at most of the products that I have. I do have a little bit more that is stored in a larger bin that will eventually work its way into where I have my fall things. Right now I still have that out because I have a couple of little projects that I'm still finishing up, and so that seasonal storage piece will switch over to a little bit more Christmas supplies, and I will show you that in just a minute as well. So let's just go ahead and start with the smaller things first. I have three of these which have just really small pieces of embellishments, some chipboard. I have metal pieces. I have some acetate pieces in here, some wood veneer, some nope, that's not fabric. There is some fabric in here somewhere. I have a little bit of everything, some brads. Some of this is Alley products. Some of this is, I'm not sure where it came from. It was just kind of in my stash from years ago. I did buy a D-stash box one time last year with had a lot of Christmas stuff in it, so some of it came from there. It's not 100% my style, but you know, sometimes I do a little junk journaling type stuff, and so I thought I would save it for that. Again, just more. Here's some of the acetate trees left from last year. Here are the fabric pieces. This is some, I think, probably Hey Santa. So just a wide variety of things in these little tubs or trays. But they really do a great job of keeping things that are small from getting lost in with things that are much larger. And then I have a few of these. This one is the one that has embellishments in it. Again, it's just another little divided tray. All of these came from Amazon. And you know, you can find any configuration and size that you want pretty much on Amazon. So I have pleather pieces. I have all those little words from last year. I had these that I used in a couple of places last year. I may try to find somewhere to use them again this year. Some acetate pieces, more fabric. So it's just a good little house for all of these little things that can easily get lost. So I'm going to set these to the side. Oh, and I will mention, I do have another one of these a little bit bigger that I keep all of my numbers in, and then I have another one that I keep like oversized chipboard letters in. So I have a few of those as well. All right, then let's go ahead and look at this larger tray, because this is the bulk and it's pretty heavy. It's one of those white large stadium organizers from scrapbook.com. So in this is everything that I got. Well, not everything. this tray also has some stuff from this year, mostly stuff from this year, but it has all of my Allie Edwards things in here, as well as like some other stamps that I may use, like this alpha that was from last year. I have some Heidi Swap, some Retro Hip, and just other things that I might use. So I've stuck those in here for now so that I don't have to go back to my stash and get those out. And then I just kind of sorted it through. You know, I had all my papers here. I have stickers. I have ephemera. I have labels. I have puffy stickers. I took out all the things from the heart kit. This is clearly not a heart, from the Star Mini Kit. Those I left in here because I didn't really have a good spot in my other little container yet. And these were just too small to float around. But typically I try to take most things out of their packaging. And I only have just a few pieces of the 10 by 8 papers left. And I'm not sure if I'll get around to using those this year or not, but I tried really hard to use as many of those as I could this year. And so there are things left in here from the Hey Santa line from Crate Paper from last year. I have some of that left over. There's Allie products from last year. There's Allie products from an HSN kit I had ordered that was maybe like the year or two previous. There's some Citrus Twist kit papers in here. There's a little bit of probably Feed Your Craft Christmas things as well. I have some thickers. I just, you know, I have my journaling cards up front. So I have like this year's cards followed by the older cards in the back. As I said, all the labels. So everything is here. The die cut pieces that I ordered from this year that I haven't already put in my album are here. Tags, you name it. So there's all kind of things in there, and that sits on, I have one of those We Are Memory Keepers gray little tier tray systems that it's a rolling cart. And let's see, it has 1, 2, 3. It has 6 little kind of like lunchroom trays on it. This sits on the top of that, so I can kind of move it around where I need to, get it out of the way if I need to, but it's easily accessible. And then this is the rest of the things from Allie from this year, as well as a little bit from Hip Kit Club, and some more Citrus Twist and probably Feed Your Craft things that were left over. But I have die cuts. I have the transparency and acetate pieces. I have the chipboards, fabric circles, the little fabric or canvas patches, the stockings, felt stars, the little wooden houses. This was left from last year. I don't think I'll get to it this year either, but I do still like it. I have the pleather hearts. I have all of the little painted wood veneer pieces, as well as the numbers, which I ended up not using these this year because I'm doing things a little differently, and we'll get to that as well. There was only a few things that I did not order, and a couple of those I did pick up digitally from Allie. I didn't get all of the stamps, and there's 2 that I really regret not getting, and that is the poinsettia and I think it was just called the Icons stamp set. I really wish I had ordered both of those. So I don't know if I'll end up getting them digitally or not, but I miss not having those. All right, so let me put this away and I'll be right back. I wanted to go ahead and show you the other storage piece. I call it kind of like my seasonal storage container. It is, I've shown it, I know, once before. It is from Amazon, and it's big, so it's not going to fit all in one shot, and it's tall. But it's just one of those kind of the current, you know, popular style of the little desk organizer with different cubbies and sections. And I have 2 of these, actually, one for actual desk supplies and one for seasonal supplies. I have a few fall things I'm still working on, so I haven't quite ready. It's not December. I'm not quite ready to swap over just yet. But this will soon serve as storage for any of my 12 by 12 Christmas papers, which I have from Cartabella, from Crate Paper, the Stamp Market, some Hip Kit, as well as some of the new Vicki Boutin 12 by 12 papers from this year's collection. And then it will serve to take off some of the bulk out of that white stadium organizer. Like stamps work really well in here. Some of the other labels and things work well in here, and it sits just right behind me, and so it's very convenient. It also has two little drawers, and last year what I did was store I think maybe like little fabric trims and things in there that right now are just in a glassine bag stuck in that stadium organizer. So I did want to mention that because these work really well. You sit that down. They do work really well for storing 12 by 12 papers as well as other scrapbooking products. Okay, so I'm going to get my albums back and we'll talk plans and foundation pages. Okay, as I mentioned before, I did choose to go with the 10 by 8 album this year. I chose the quote album. I love this quote. I love the foiled stars on it. And I also love the watercolor stripes inside. So I was just intrigued by this different size. It's different than anything I've done as a scrapbooker of less than 2 years. And so I just thought, I haven't been doing 6 by 8 for many, many years like some people, and they're kind of comfortable with that size. I'm definitely comfortable in 6 by 8, but I didn't feel uncomfortable enough to not try this one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some things that I have set up. And a couple of these things came from Crystal Idunyate, some from Product Play, a couple things from Prep Day Ideas, or just kind of suggestions, I guess would be a better way of saying how Prep Day was this year. Ashley Horton, really just all of the team. All of the team did such a great job with Product Play. And at first I was thinking that, maybe I don't want to use their ideas. But then I thought, Michelle, you pay for the class. They're doing the class to give you ideas. So some of them are pretty straight scrap lifts. Some of them I've made my own. Some of them I've kind of changed a good bit, and then there's others that are just ideas straight from my head. So there's a wide variety in here. So this will be a place to put just a photo a day, because I'm not doing any kind of chronological daily scrapbooking. There are a few stories that do fall on the day that they will be in my book, but it's not just a 1 through 25 type of album. So I wanted to do just a photo a day, and it's a snug fit right now, and there's like static in there. So I'm hoping that's going to kind of work itself out a little bit as we go through the year. And I just put a piece of acetate, punched a thumb hole, and this calendar probably was like a Prep Day download from Allie, the best that I can remember. And then to cover up the adhesive, I had some green and red kind of wide rickrack, and so I put that on there just to kind of serve as a frame. Then this idea, I did something very similar last year with this miniature garland where it was a swivel wreath. And so I just wanted to start my page off like that this year, and I put a bow. This was a Color Cast Designs piece, and then a puffy sticker from Allie. And then I've left myself a note that behind this will be a full page photo, and I'm hoping to get it where I can pretty well center our faces in there so you can see a bit of what's to come when you flip. And then we get into kind of what I call my introductory pages. So this will be kind of like the who we are about us type page. So there'll be one for my husband, myself, and then I'm just doing like one for our pets, or our girls as we call them. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats, Great Dane, a Yorkie, and 2 Siamese cats. And so I'll give kind of the breakdown of all 4 of them on one card, and I'll likely put a photo, maybe even on the back of the journaling cards as well, or either just stick it into the pocket. This page is completely done. It is my intention or my reason why page. And I think that this idea came from Ashley Ann. She's Sweet Ashley Ann. Ashley Rogers is her name. And I took a lot of inspiration from her for the whole setup of my album this year. And so this paper was from this year. I think this tag was from this year. And I just used my awl and put a little star brad through there. And then this was paper from last year that I used. And so I just put on vellum, I'm participating in December Daily again this year in order to seek and find. And then you have a word search. And so I made this online, has my words down here of some things that I hope to find in December. And then I stamped out reason why with my classic Heidi Alpha stamp. And then this will be my little letter to Santa. And so I created this little pocket, and it's Velcroed together. Again, Color Cast Designs pieces. And I do use Crystal Ignatius's planning sheets, and she updated them to have one for the 10x8 size. And this is how I have them in my album. And so here was the Hey Santa, or Hello Santa. I wrote hey over here. I think I had the collection on my mind instead of the piece. And then I wrote that I was going to use the poinsettia paper and make a pocket. And then I had another note down here to trim the top to tuck the tags. And so that's what I ended up doing. And so I took this poinsettia paper and I used an X-Acto knife and just trimmed around the tops of these petals. I didn't do the ones at the bottom, just the tops. And then, so this plus sign background is part of this poinsettia paper. And then I put another piece of paper on the back so that it creates a pocket in there. And on here will be our wish list. Last year I just did like our top 3 things that we had on our wish list, and I'll do the same probably this year. I included photos last year. I'm not sure if I'll do photos or just a listing, but so there'll be one for my husband, one for myself, and then on the back I will likely run these through my printer or either use clear matte sticker paper. And then those just tuck right back down inside the flower. And then this is going to talk about my advent calendar that I got from Allie with the stickers, and it's going to go on this page. And then that will take us into my actual days. And so I had this transparency, or this vellum piece that came with one of the packages. I think it was just vellum papers for the 10x8. So I thought this would be a good thing to just kind of open the official part of the album with. And then what I'm doing is an A to Z, which is something that Ashley Rogers, Sweet Ashley Ann, decided that she was going to do maybe a couple years ago. And so I'll tell you about how I'm going to work that. For my days or my stories, my pages this year, I will be going in alphabetical order to some extent. There is one little caveat to that, but so what I have done is for each day I had these and I had I think maybe a story on my Instagram for that, but I had these letters which are fairly thin cardstock. Not cardstock. I called them cardstock every time I've talked about them. Fairly thin chipboard, and I can't take it out because it's stapled in. But they're fairly thin, so they didn't add a lot of bulk. And the way I've stacked them up, it only added, half the bulk it would have added if they were right on top of each other. And they were sticky back, which was important because I didn't want to be able to see, any other kind of adhesive back there. And then I cut pieces of acetate to the 3x4 size, and these were 6x8 page protectors that I just trimmed into pockets. So I got 2 pockets out of each. And then sometimes I use the leftover page protector parts for mechanisms to push or pull in interactive pieces. So I saved those as well. So it's not a complete loss. And then for the title of the day, I decided I would use my Dymo label maker. So I stuck that down, and then just to kind of, and it's on the outside, I wanted to be able to feel that texture. I didn't leave the numbers on the outside because I didn't want the paint, because they were plain, just like craft, chipboard. So I painted them gold, 2 coats of gold paint from the Target Handmade Modern line that's now discontinued. But I did want to be able to feel the texture of the Dymo label maker, so I just stapled it into place, and that also will keep the acetate from falling out and letting the letter fall out. So the way it's going to work, and here you can kind of see my rough sketch, and I have one of these in here for every day, so that's adding some bulk into this album as well that won't be there eventually. So I'll have my letter, and then like here are parts and pieces that I need. So they're just in a container, some kind of, holder, usually a page protector. And then this is what I've got of this day's page so far. And then I will go into the next day. And so these should actually be down here. Sorry, when I was putting on these last night, I probably didn't put it back in the right place. So B will actually go down here again so that I'm not stacking things up on top of each other. And it will be Botanical Garden. And it's about when we went to the Atlanta Botanical Garden for a lights at night thing that they do. And this page is pretty, like I had a hard time even sketching this out because it's going to have quite a few parts and pieces, and I'm putting to layer these like Ingen did in the product play class. And I've got products in here, I've got more notes, I've got stuff here, journaling with a flip out. So, but that's the kind of thing I have set up in my albums. And I won't go through all of these because that would just be very long and tedious. And also some of these are from Product Play, which was a paid class. And so, like if there's templates and instructions and things like that in here, it's not something that, would be shareable because it was a paid class. However, I did want to quickly show you my kind of my closing pages, or where things get a little different. Let's start there. Let me take this out. So when we get to W for wrapping paper, then there is one that says Christmas Eve, because I did not want to just have a letter for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So what I did is just make Christmas Eve on one of those pieces of acetate, and I may put some kind of little label sticker down under here and staple this as well. And then I'm doing a fireplace that Crystal Idunyate did in her product play class, and I'm sure you've seen some of those already online. And then for this day, for Christmas Day, I have this, and then this will kind of be the page leading into my Christmas Day. And then I've created a I don't know, folio, a pocket, a something from the packaging to hold photos for that day. And then we pick back up with X. And then when we get through with Z, I last year did my one little word announcement in my December daily album. So I'm going to do the same thing again this year, and have a page in there that talks about why I chose that word. And I don't want to show it in case you've already seen it. And then I'm going to have this page be things that I am hoping, dreaming, wishing for in 2022. And so I've got a list of things to do in 2022. And I'm hoping I'm just going to be able to write them on there with like a white Jelly Roll pen, hopefully. And so that was day 30. And then it worked out pretty well for day 31 to be New Year's Eve. And I'm planning maybe just to use this pocket. And then I'm doing a coffee and a tea advent. It's like one of each with 12 in each one for my advent this year. And so I'm going to probably do those as kind of my stuff of life and just try to save the tops of them if I can. If not, then we'll scratch that idea. This December in numbers is something that Shu-Wen from Shoe Puff Creations shared. I think it was just shared on her regular, just her doing a video, because there's also a page that goes with it, and I don't think it was product play, but I can't remember, so I won't show it in too much detail. But I'm going to have that. And then, and I'll link her channel below as well in case it is just straight on her channel. You can go and find it. I found this holiday bingo from last year. I think it was probably Feed Your Craft, or maybe it was Everyday. I think it was Feed Your Craft. So I thought I might do that because I didn't use it last year. And so why not just throw it in there and see what happens. And then I have a Christmas bucket list that I'm going to print out. It's something that Kelly Bangs had on the Illustrated Faith website. And it's just like a lot of random things that you might do. And so you can kind of, you know, put a little marker on each day that you have done something on that bucket list. And I think there's 24 of them. And so that will be what finishes up my album. Well, actually, there'll probably be a stamped quote or something that maybe I run through my Mink machine to finish out this album. To finish the first volume, volume 1, I already did a quote there. And I still have all these page protectors in here, which I don't think I'm going to use any of. So there again is some more bulk that won't be there. So I just stamped out, remember this December that love weighs more than gold. And I did red, it was like a red glitter embossing powder. And so I did that. And this lady's name was super long. And so I hope she doesn't mind, abbreviated it to LDD Bacon. So that will finish out volume 1 and lead me into volume 2. So that is where we'll go ahead and end the video for today so that it's not crazy long. You'll see all these pages. Oh, that's another thing. Plans for how I'm going to do this. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do a couple of days per video. It's just a little quicker and easier to sit down and edit 2 spreads and upload 2 spreads and, you know, as one video instead of doing that process every single day. It really takes a lot of time to do that. And so I think just to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm going to just plan to do 2 days at the time. It may vary here or there, but that's my goal for right now. So pretty soon I'll do a video that shows you the actual completed introductory pages, completely done. And then I'll start doing like day 1 and 2, day 3 and 4, and so forth and so on. So I appreciate you sticking with me through this whole video. I know it was a little disjointed and had a lot of information, but I wanted to go ahead and share what I've got going on so far. If you enjoyed the video, I would love a thumbs up down below. And if you have not already joined my YouTube family here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and do that. Also, I would love for you to follow me over on Instagram. There's always lots going on over there with close-ups and just daily life and things like that. And then I will see you in the next video. And until then, take care of yourself and do something good for yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.